Hello guys, this is Prince Jaya Kenya back with another video, and today I'm here to discuss about host documents. Required host document for DV interviews, for DV lottery interviews or green card lottery interviews, because there are some required documents that your host is supposed to have. And let me discuss about the host. So after being selected on your green card, after being selected on green card on the month of May, when the results are announced, you are supposed to have a host document. You are supposed to have a host. Let me call it host. Document will come later. I will explain that later. You are supposed to have a host, the one that gonna help you, or the one that gonna host you for a while before you settle on your own over here in the United States of America. So there's this type of a document that the embassy or the US embassy requires for one to have, so that they can now know that this host truly is willing to host you, and this host truly to fulfill or is eligible with all the requirements that he or she is supposed to have, so that he can host you. So after you have been selected for green card on the month of May, at that time you don't need a host document. And as I told you while filling the DS-260, the thing that you are supposed to have from your host, it is his address. Like this paper was my DS-260. I just printed it out when I was filling DS-260. So after being selected for your green card, that's when now you usually start to look for a host. And while you are looking for a host, now you have gotten your host. I told you, for those who don't have a host, you may go to online platform like Facebook. Like those who live in Kenya, in Facebook there are a lot of churches, the American Kenyan churches over here. You can try to connect to them and try to ask them through their admin whether they can, anyone can be interested in hosting you in your village. Maybe there is this family that relocated over here. You can try to reach them out through their family members and ask them, or through your friends. Maybe don't know anybody in the US, but your friend might know somebody in the US. That friend of you might connect with somebody. Myself, the way I got a host in this way. Myself, I didn't know anybody in the US. I explained that in another video. But there is this cyber that I was processing this DS-260. And you know what? Through that cyber, there is this son of that lady. The cyber owner is a lady, and she has his son. So when I was talking to his son told me that he knows somebody in the US. Now that somebody, the son of that cyber lady is the one that hosted me over here in the US. So you may try to talk to your friends, talk to anybody whom you may think that knows someone over here in the US. Now comes in May, you have checked your result, you have been selected. What do you have, no matter which way that you will use to get a host, either your relative, either your family member, either your friend, no matter it's a stranger, no matter whichever way you will use to have a host. Now here you have a host. You want to fill DS-260, but you don't know what is required while filling DS-260. So while filling DS-260, the only host document that you are supposed to request your host, host document, the only thing that you are supposed to ask for your host, it is his host details. And this is his or her mailing address. Mailing address, when he or she knows what is a mailing address. There is a mail. Each and every apartment or house has a mail, so she will send his or her mailing address. Then the address, that is city, mailing address, city, state or province, postal, zone or zip code, country or region, permanent address, name of person currently living at address, US address, phone number. Those are the only things that your host will give you when you win green card on the month of May. Let me repeat it for you. These are the only thing that your host will give you when you win green card on May, so that they can help you to process filling the DS-260. Let me repeat it again. These are the only host details that you are supposed to be sent by your host while filling the DS-260 after winning green card. She or he is supposed to send you his or her mailing address, city where he or she lives, state or province where he or she live, postal zone or zip code, his or her postal zone or zip code, country or and region, that is the United States of America, and name of the person currently living in the address, that is his or her name, and the US address, and phone number, and nothing else. That is all about it. Phone number, address, postal zone or zip code, countries, the US, state or province, and city. That is all. So after giving you those information, the details, you're gonna see them in the DS260. So don't worry about it. So when you open the DS260, you will see the place that it requires you to fill the host details. Just screenshot that and send it to him or her. Then tell him to give you those details. After giving you those details, just fill DS260 and you will be good to go. So now here comes, you have been scheduled for an interview. You have received your 2NL. Now what is the required document, host document, for you to process now to go to the interview, to process your visa interview. So these are the required host document to process a visa interview. There are some countries that doesn't require host document, but for those that lives in Kenya, you must have host document. I repeat it again. You must have host document for those who lives in Kenya. But there are some countries that doesn't require you to have host document. So you have won the green card. You don't know what is in your countries. You have done research and you have known that your country usually require host document, and you don't know what to ask for your host. So these are host document that you are supposed to ask for your host. And one is affidavit of support. In another word, it is called Form I-134. Form I-134, affidavit of support, or Form I-134. This Form I-134, you will see it in Google. When you Google Form I-134, you will see it. Download it. It's in a PDF form. When you download that form in a PDF form, you're gonna see it. You may send it to your host through WhatsApp, or you may tell your host to download this Form I-134 in his computer or phone. He fill it for you or she fill it for you. After filling that form for you, Form I-134, he or she will send you a scanned copy, and it's upon you to print that form and go with it in the interview. So I mean, your host is supposed to send you to fill you Form affidavit of support. In another word, it's Form I-134. You're gonna see it in Google. Go and download it. When you download it, she or she fill it for you. He send you through an email or a scanned copy. You will print it and go with it in an interview. The second document that your host is supposed to send you is his or her latest tax transcript. Your host is supposed to send you his or her latest tax transcript, or fill Form 1040. Fill Form 1040. When you go to Google and Google Form 1040, you will see it. So I mean Form I-134 affidavit of support, that is the first document that your host is supposed to give you. The second document is tax transcript of Form 1040. Fill Form 1040. Go to Google and Google Form 1040. You will see it. Go to Google and Google Form I-134. You will see it. And the third thing that will be required your host to give you while going for an interview is his or her copy of green card, or his or her copy of citizenship naturalization certificate, or his or her copy of driving license, or his or her copy of passport. Either of those three things. Either he give you a passport, her passport copy, either he give you his citizenship naturalization certificate, or either he or she give you a driving license or his green card, whatever, any of the three. So I mean, three things or three requirements that you are supposed to have from your house: affidavit of support, that is Form I-134, tax transcript, the latest tax transcript, or Form 1040, and number three, either one of this, either certificate of naturalization, that is citizenship, either copy of his green card or driving license or passport, just one of that, with Form I-134, that is affidavit of support, tax transcript or Form 1040, and his green card, driving license or passport, one of that, you will be good to go. You will print this paper because your host will send you in an email After your host sending you at an email, you will scan them, you will print them out and carry a paper like this one. So you will go with the papers, with the hand copies in your embassy, and you will give, when you will be asked for the document, that's when you will give out the host document. Even the embassy itself, if at all your country usually asks for the host document, the embassy itself will ask you, now give us the, after giving your document, the embassy will ask you, now give us the host document. So that's all about it, how you can go about it, the host document. See, you can Google and see them over there. The 2NL usually don't come with the required document, so don't wait at it. Don't wait 2NL to give you the required document. It's upon you now to figure out which document are supposed to be asked by your country. Like my 2NL didn't have the document that are supposed to be asked, or that I'm supposed to carry. It was upon me to figure out and do the research to know which document that I'm supposed to go to to my embassy. But still, if you can go to Google the requirement, the document required for DV visa interview in your country, you will see the website. You will reach out the website of your country, and you will see the required document for the DV visa. If at all it's a DV visa, or if at all it's another visa, you will see the requirement. So that's all about it, guys. Those are the 3 documents that you are supposed to have from your host. I mean, affidavit of support, that is from I-134. I have told you that one, you're gonna see it in Google. Let your host download that form, fill it for you, then send it to you. And I mean, the second thing I have said, from tax transcript, latest tax transcript, or form 1040. When he download that form 1040, he gonna see it, he will send it to you, or he send you his or her tax transcript. And the third thing, he gonna give you his or her copy of driving license, his or her copy of passport, or his or her copy of citizenship naturalization certificate, or passport. Either of one of those 3. With those 3 things, you are good to go. You will be good to go. But before doing the research, whether you, I advise you, just first do the research whether in your country they usually require host document. If at all they usually require, talk to your host, notify him or her that these are the documents required, so that if she or he is okay to give you, you will be good to go with those documents. If at all your host won't be able to give you those documents, please find another host. And my advice is, if at all you can get a backup host, that it is very good, because your host might not be willing to give you those documents, and you will have a backup host who will give you the document. Last question and last topic, I have remembered this one. There are those people that usually ask, can I have a host and a sponsor? Yes, a sponsor, let me define and explain to you. A sponsor is a person who will agree to give you the affidavit, to fill you the form I-134 or affidavit of support, and or to stand for you, so that you can't be a public charge. So a sponsor, it's a host, is a person. Okay, sometimes you may have 2 people, a sponsor and a host. Somebody might be willing to host you but not to provide the papers for you, but another person now is willing to provide the papers for you. That person who is willing to provide the papers for you will be your sponsor. This person is willing to host you to stay in his or her home for 3 months, for 2 months, or for 1 month. That is a host. So it is good. Sometimes it's okay to have a host and a sponsor, but for me, I usually advise you, let that person who will be ready to host you be your sponsor too. Accept to fill the papers for you, because having a host and a sponsor is somehow complicated and confusing. And in many times, the person that usually agree to host you is still the person that still agree to give you the papers. A sponsor, I have told you, is a person who will agree to sponsor you or to fill the papers for you. That is from I-134 or affidavit of support, which helps you or tells the US Embassy or the US government that you won't be a public charge. The importance of a sponsor, it is to tell the government that you won't be a public charge, that if anything can happen to you while you are over here in US, that person will fully stand for you, or that person will support you fully and will stand for you. So there is no way you will become a public charge. That is the work of a sponsor. They usually just require for you to have a sponsor, so that to know that you won't become a public charge when you come over here in the US. So you may have a sponsor, a person who is willing to give you the document, and another person who is willing to have a host. It is acceptable to have the 2. You will go with the details of the 2, the sponsor and the host. In your interview, you will go with the details of the host, the one that you're gonna stay with, for 1 month, 2 months before you settle on your own, and you're gonna go with another person now whom you will have his or her document to stand as your sponsor. But all the thing that I usually pray for you is that let that person who will be willing to host you still provide the document for you. Like myself, the guy that hosted me, a very nice guy, God bless him, he's still the person that accepted to give me the document. So he stood in the gap of being a host and a sponsor. There is no need to have two, a sponsor and a host. Just have that one person, the person that's gonna will to host you. Let him or her give you the document, and he will stand in the gap of a sponsor, and he will stand in the gap of a host. So for those who usually ask that, I have a person who is willing to host me, but doesn't want to give me the document. Can I have a sponsor? Yes, you can have a sponsor, no problem with that. But my prayer is just have one person who will be your host, and that one person will be your sponsor. There is no difference between a host and a sponsor. Can be one person or can be two people, depending on you. So may God bless you, may God be with you. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we are together. For any question, reach out to me in my comment section. If at all I don't know the answer of the question, we will find more clarification from the reliable sources. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye bye.